Should be right. All right. Hi, everyone. And yeah, welcome back. Anyway, as you can see, this is unscripted as well, another video. And I'm trying to stick to my guns and being consistent, pushing myself beyond my normal limits by making the second video for this week, which is good. Now, yesterday I didn't have to work, or I didn't have to learn or do any studying because I'm actually in the process of shifting occupations, and that is why I have been preparing for examinations for months before today. I had my examinations, the past 6 examinations in October, and now we are in November and I'm waiting for the results by December. So I am literally dancing on ice, is what the Germans would say. And yeah, let's put that aside. Yesterday, in this period of waiting, I decided to do something physical since I'm at home and I have some break time. And I wanted to do something worthwhile and move my body at the same time. You know, I have to stay fit, use the body. So I decided to work on the front porch, which had just been like laid out with the bricks and all that stuff. Some professionals did it, and then they left the gardening space, the flower beds, they left them open, just dumped in a bunch of soil which had to be cleaned out, removing weeds, extra unnecessary roots and all that stuff. So I had done all that work beforehand and had just planted some plants, and then we had new plants we'd bought for the front porch, and they had to get in there before the winter really rushes in, because it had started snowing 3 days ago, then the sun was out yesterday, so I had to make use of that opportunity. Now I literally didn't know what exactly I was going to do with the plants, or in which order I was going to put them in the flower beds, but I started thinking, and I was out there for hours. I started at 11 a.m. and I finished at 4:15 p.m., which means I was there for about 5 to 6 hours non-stop in the biting cold. And that's something my neighbors have gotten used to right now, because either I am always outside when the sun is out, working in the garden, working on the plants. We just moved to a new place some months ago, and in this new place everything has to be done. It's like an area where new houses are being built, and ours is one of those houses which has just been built. And I worked really hard with my wife for this opportunity to have a house and have property where kids can grow. And that's exactly shortly before we even started preparing for the moving is when I was laid off. You can say because of AI, you can say because of me not being useful anymore to the company. I was literally laid off. I was like, okay, that's not the treatment someone should get who has really put in a lot of time and invested so much of their lives into the job, and also being loyal and all that stuff. But anyway, no hard feelings. The thing is, I understood that I can't stay the way I was. I had to shift occupations. I had to get something that was official, like a certificate, because Germans love certificates. And I also had to change the way I was thinking about things, which means I had to have a plan B the next time when I have a job, so that when I'm laid off, it just doesn't happen abruptly and I'm not too shocked. And I can still keep on moving with my life for the next 1 to 2 years before having a point where I'm like, okay, now shit's getting tough. Anyway, as I was working on the front porch, I noticed that life can be seen as a garden. And humans, we are literally beings of spirit. We have spirits. We are souls. And these souls are the so-called gardeners. Now, the vessel we have, which is the human body, is our basic foundation and the tools we get to work on our life, on our garden, which means skills and knowledge and experience that we gain throughout the years over time would be something akin to gardening tools and methods of gardening that help you create a garden to your liking. There's some people who prefer more stony gardens. There's some people who prefer more Disney-like floral gardens filled with flowers and lots of places for insects to be fed. And there's some people who need a balance between the two, like the flower garden, the beautiful, magical flower, plant, fruits garden. No, there are also the third type, people who have a garden for the practicality, which means as a source and means of self-sustenance, self-sustainability, food. So all those three, there's some people who have a balance between those three. A little bit of some beauty, a little bit of some practicality, as a source and means of food. And then there's some people who and then also a little bit of, very, very easy to deal with, just some grass and stones that are sculpted to show that, hey, it's not just dead space, there is something there, but it doesn't have to be something I always have to tend to. Now, if you see life as a garden, you start to see something different about everybody else's life and about your life. Now let's focus on your life. That is exactly what I did when I was in that predicament of having been laid off. I was like, there's a lot of stuff I like about myself. There's a lot of stuff I really hate about myself. There's stuff I can't stand about myself. Mistakes I have made, decisions I have made that had consequences that were really bitter and not so good. And things that really were like heartbreaking and changed the person I was from that moment to whoever I was going to be from then on. And I learned a lot from my mistakes. I mean, it would be a fool who has mistakes and then does the same mistakes to the same magnitude and gets the same consequences and keeps on yapping about the mistakes and their consequences. I'm not the kind of person, so I would advise you not to be the kind of person to... Let me check the watch. Anyway, the thing is, having mistakes is like having weeds. Things that you don't like about yourself is all those pests in your garden, which is your life. So if you want a certain life, you have to start analyzing and seeing for yourself, which kind of life do I have right now in the moment? What are the things I like about it? What are the things I don't like about it? What are my strengths and what are my weaknesses? And then the next step would be, most people want to get rid of their mistakes, their bad habits, their bad decisions, which is all good, but I would say go a bit farther. Just like how you focus on your strengths, which is the first thing most people do, and make them even better, polish them up. How about opening yourself up to new ideas, new opportunities, just like how I did, and I said, I can't stay in the same kind of situation where I'm just like doing the job but have no certificate for the job, and the job that I have a certificate for because I have a bachelor's in design, I didn't like it and didn't like the atmosphere and the direction in which it was heading to, more especially in the corporate world. So I left that space and changed to something like human resources, which is actually something that deals with humans, helping people, assisting people, and all that stuff. I like the kind of thing where you organize, structure stuff that helps people, give them information, and also deal with issues that they would have to deal with, but in a way that they are legally and corporately protected. That's what I liked about that. But the thing is, I needed a certificate for that, and I was laid off from the rest of the team because I was the only one who didn't have a certificate. So I think I was missing lots of knowledge. Now I've finished my examinations, and I was only able to go through this 6 months of pure torture because of that mindset of seeing my life as a garden. So the first thing I did was I looked at my strengths and weaknesses, and I say my strengths are there, most of them based on innate talent and the way my personality or who I am as a character is. Those ones can stay. What I am looking at now that I really need are my weaknesses. I need to strengthen those ones. I need to polish up on the ones that I can use, just like how I did with using my left arm to write and learning how to write with my left arm. Because just by doing that, I was able to have more freedom when I am eating. I don't need to always use my right arm. When I'm drawing, don't always need to use my right arm. When I'm doing something else like working in the garden, cleaning, drawing or painting or doing whatever I would normally do, focused mainly with the use of my right hand, I can now do that with my left hand. And not as good as with my right hand, but I've had like 1.5 to 2 years of practice now. So it's getting better and better, and people are astonished every time when I'm just like writing using the right hand and I'm just like, oh gosh, I can't do this anymore. Then I switch to my left hand. Or when I'm eating, I just switch the fork and the spoon, and it all doesn't have to be fixated on just one side. Now the funniest thing is also my whole left body has gotten an upgrade. I can use my left leg way better than before. When I'm dancing, or whatever I call dancing, when I'm doing that, I move better than I used to. And it's because my brain has now gotten used to using this left side of my body, and it's transferring all that experience and the control and the precision to the rest of the body, even my toes. Now, I ask myself, if I can do that, what else can I do that I feel like is a weakness? Because my left arm was my greatest weakness, even when learning how to do martial arts and training and all that stuff. I always tried to avoid showing my left side to my opponent when we were sparring, or like whenever I felt like I no longer have any more breath, I couldn't breathe anymore and I was really tired. And that is like the worst thing to have in a fight, feel tired and show that you are tired, meaning you have no more energy to put your guard up, meaning you are now a punching bag. That's the last thing I wanted to do. So even when I felt so tired and couldn't do anything, I just always put my right side to the front because that was my dominant side. And whenever someone would attack and they saw my right side, they were like, okay, there are no openings. With how I am right now, I could literally mop the floor, Jesus Christ, German and English, mop the floor with my old self. As I am right now, I could devastate my old self because of just that tiny little thing. It also changed my mentality and how I look at the world, which means when I see a difficulty, I don't just try to run away from it as I used to, because I was good at running away from things. I was a master at coping and procrastinating. I'm still a master of procrastination. Just check some videos before and you understand. The thing is, the gardening mentality and looking at your life like a garden and you being the gardener of your life gives you the opportunity to look at yourself as the master within your life and the one who has the reins to your life. Yes, we all start different. We all have different opportunities and points of luck and decision points as life progresses. But many people forget one thing. When you get lemons or things that are bitter in your life, there is still some edibility in those things, so make lemonade out of that. That is what I have learned, that even the worst situations in life, they are chaotic, a pain in the ass, hurt so much, but bear the opportunity of, to some extent, of progress, experience, and learning from that, and utilizing that opportunity to its utmost, highest potential is for you to first look for, decide what it is, and then make use of. I'm waiting for the written examination results. I might have to repeat 1 or 2 of them. I hope not, if everything goes well, and then I'll do my practical examination. Until then, I'm dancing on ice, like the Germans would say, really slippery, really dangerous, but I'm really careful. And the mentality that helped me get through all that harsh learning, that problematic, annoying period of my life, was because whenever I found a weakness of mine, I didn't just throw it away or try to cover it up. I looked at it, analyzed it, and tried to see the potential in it and what would happen if I would make use of it, just like with my left hand. So what I'm trying to say is, look at yourself. Imagine what kind of life you want to have, or the garden of your dreams, and then look at where you're at now. What is it that you're doing right? What is it that you're doing wrong? Analyze yourself to the utmost best that you can. Now, make a plan that is as follows. First of all, specific. Set specific goals. The goals must be something that you can put in one sentence that have some kind of value. And then be very, let me say, practical about it, which means give the goals a trackable kind of element. I'm going to do this and this in 7 steps. I'm going to get to 100 subscribers in 10 weeks or something like that. And then you further break that down until the slices are so small, they are inspiring and exciting for you to go through, which means don't set your goals, set a major goal, break it down in small pieces that are digestible, and then start working with those small pieces in a chronological and step-by-step way, which will help you easily deal with all the issues that will come on the way, because you will get some issues and you'll have to adjust, and the excitement will help you pass through all of that. Now, when something is exciting, you also have to make it kind of realistic, because it's only when it's realistic and you have critically looked at it from all points of view that you will understand you can do that kind of thing and you can reach a goal. Now, being realistic would mean something like, okay, I'm not going to try to make 5 videos a week. I'm going to make 2 videos a week, or let me say 1 video each week, but each week of the next year. And you then lay out a plan for the types of videos you're going to be making, even to the titles of the videos, so that when it comes to talking to the camera about the topic, you don't need to script out everything. I just learned how to go unscripted, as in fully embody that some days ago. Check my previous video, I think it's episode number 9, called Unscriptedness or something like that. And it will help you get through that. Now, when you've done some realistic changes to your plan that has been broken down into several pieces that are going to be chronologically followed with excitement, comes the most important part. Give it a timeline of evolving, the evolution span of your goal. Like right now is year 1, end of 2024, and in the end of year 2025, you want to have made 50 videos. If you can't do it every week, then you have to have made 50 videos by the end of next year. I'm not saying that that's my plan, but I'm just saying that is my plan. Anyway, give it a deadline. Deadlines help you even go farther than you would have if you didn't have a deadline. Having a goal helps you set a kind of pace at which you'll have to get to be able to fulfill that goal. Being excited about it will make you keep that goal revolving in your mind, envisioning things, and even course correcting and adjusting according to the times and when things change. I'm not a fan of following trends, but I'm a fan of following principles and certain ways and methods of doing things, because those can be replicated and they keep on being the same and universal throughout the whole bucket of options of any type of content that you have out there. When you're done with that, you can then start, whilst you're chasing your goal, you can then start to, when you're course correcting, to control the amount of progress you have made, so that you keep track of your progress. And then when all that is done, you can be proud of yourself, of the person you're becoming. And then the last thing is proper preparation prevents poor performance. I got that from Jordan Peterson, and it has helped me literally throughout all the things I've been doing for the past 2 years, most especially the past 8 months. And I would say this: I had that mentality of preparing properly for whatever I wanted to do before doing it, so that I am certain and have confidence in myself. But having had that put in words by Jordan Peterson gave me that, that's exactly what I always did, but now I have it in words. And giving a name to whatever you're doing or the process that you're going through, making it visible and putting it down, is the whole meaning behind vision boards and having a plan, because that makes you be able to track it and then follow through. And then the hardest part is following through. Always coming back to hit the record button is no easy thing for me, just like I'm doing right now. But I can see the progress speaking for itself by the number of videos I have made in the past few weeks. And I'm proud of myself, and that gives me more confidence. And next time I'll be sitting in front of this camera, it will be like I am not sitting in front of the camera, I am sitting talking to a friend. And that is exactly what I always wanted from the very beginning. And I'm also fighting against my inner introvert. And yeah, my extrovert is coming out more to the world. And having a balance between those two is also great for me to help myself express from within and not be afraid of going out into the world and checking out new opportunities, learning new things, new skills, and finally doing what I set for myself. To have a life and a garden of my liking, with the utmost highest goal being ultimate freedom. Freedom to do whatever I want, whenever I want, with my time, with myself, on my own terms, not having to answer to anyone. And I think having a YouTube channel is the first step for me to do that. So yeah, I'm literally doing this because my life depends on it, and I think taking it serious is actually a good thing. Yeah, that will be all. Thanks for tuning in, and like, subscribe, take care, and bye-bye.